this video, I'm going to show you my exact process that led me to $10 million in coaching sales and built a multi-7-figure coaching business using these exact same systems. If you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and give me a follow. I'll show you where I failed, how I succeeded, and how you can fast track to multiple 6 or 7 figures without fighting through the hurdles that I had to. If you're ready to sign 3 to 5 times more coaching clients while freeing up 10 to 15 hours a week of your time, grab a pen and paper and take notes because I'm not holding anything back. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you how to do this very simply. We're going to do this with your current lead flow, one commission-only appointment setter that'll free up a minimum of 10 to 15 hours a week of your time, and a plug-and-play sales system designed specifically for coaches that delivers the best results on the planet. We're going to be covering this from a few different angles. What we've realized is most coaches' sales process is almost identical to the next coach. So the problem is your client gets on the phone with you and they have the same conversation they've had with the last 2 or 3 coaches that they've been price shopping. So we're going to cover not only the difference in how we can approach this, but then I'm going to show you exactly how I do it by covering what we call our freedom funnel. So we're going to dive into both of those in detail and show you step by step. But before we do, if you're tired of sales processes that lack authenticity and you simply feel out of character using them, then this is for you. I'm not going to bury you in course material for the next 6 months. Within 16 weeks, I'm going to help you install our sales system, ensure that you're fluid using them, and that you have the confidence to consistently and predictably enroll your dream clients. The goal here is to 3 to 5x your current coaching revenue and buy back 10 to 15 hours a week so you're not handcuffed to your calendar. The best part is we're going to track everything from sales calls to conversion rates, identifying exactly where you need the most help. This is not another course. 95% of what we'll do together is face-to-face. We'll be in the trenches with you from day one. So real quick, before we get into it, who's this for? If you've got a coaching offer between $5,000 and $30,000 a month, you've got a handful or more clients that have paid you for your help, you've got the social proof, and you're willing to invest in yourself to grow your business and eager to level up, then this is for you. If you're below $5K a month with limited lead flow, you wouldn't have the appointments to keep your setter booked out or enough calls for my team to help you install our systems. Also, if you're looking for a get-rich-quick opportunity, you operate from a scarcity mindset, and you believe the only reason you're not hitting 50K plus months is because you need more sales appointments, odds are you have no room to improve here. Please close this video now because this is not for you. Okay, let's get straight into it. So we're going to be covering 2 things here. One is our freedom funnel, and this is our process that we teach our coaches to go through that essentially eliminates the let me think about it. It eliminates a lot of the payment plans. It eliminates a lot of the refunds and chargebacks and allows you to deliver a world-class experience to your client that then leads to more ascension sales and tier 2 offers that you can bring to your clients. This other one is a simple comparison between how most coaches are running their sales calls versus how we teach our clients to run their sales calls. So if you notice, most of the data here is fairly similar. They're both spending $2,000 a month on ad spend. They're both getting 10 sales calls scheduled on their calendar weekly. They're seeing a 50% show rate. They're working about 10 hours on those 10 sales calls, which equates to about 2 clients. Out of those 2 clients, they're getting 30% cash collected, and the remainder comes on payment plans. In our process, just as a comparison, and I am not suggesting that you're going to do this tomorrow or next week. This is certainly something that can take time. But same thing, 2K ad spend, 10 sales calls on the calendar for the week, 80% show rate because we have an appointment setter doing a lot of the heavy lifting for us, 3 hours of our time on actual sales calls, 5 new clients, and 70% cash collected. So the reason I bring this to you is I want you to look at the difference between how a typical coach is going through their sales process and just expecting that, you know what, I'm only going to bring on 30%. I'm only going to bring on 40% or 20%. My numbers show it's like, I'm sure they do, but truthfully, most coaches are not sales pros. Most coaches have not been trained in this particular area. They've gotten really good at what they do. They drive world-class results for their clients, but most of their sales come from a client that's already made a decision they wanted to work with them. So everybody else, even a lot of the ideal clients that didn't have enough time to unravel the mess in their head, they ended up going a different direction because somebody else had the ability to actually solve their problem. Now, you had the ability to solve it, but you didn't unwind that mess in their head first. right? So let's look at how this compares. So 5 sales calls over 8 sales calls, 5 hours of time versus 2 hours of your time because the setter pre-qualified them. No appointment setter here versus an appointment setter, whereas the appointment setter was able to pre-qualify and set expectations with the client. They were able to cover the fact that it's a paid program. They were able to cover the fact that we expect you to not only show up to the call on time, but prepared to make a decision. We want you to have goals in place. We want you to have these 5 questions filled out in detail for Corey to cover ahead of time. This leads to 5 times more clients, not all the time, but most times. It leads to 3 times the close rate. It frees up 10 hours a week because my follow-up doesn't happen for me. My setter does it all. If I don't have a setter that has systems, I mean, you can go hire a setter anywhere, but they're going to rely on you, and it's going to pull you back into the weeds to try to help them do it. You're going to get frustrated, and the cycle will continue. You'll fire them and go right back to that seat. So that 10 hours of follow-up, there's a very specific system that we use to make this happen and to ensure that the setter is doing it efficiently and effectively. Right over here, we notice that out of the 2 clients, we collected about $5K cash, we contracted $5,000, which collected about $1.5 or $1,500, right? So over here, out of the $25K we contracted, we collected about 17.5 of that, which puts us in a position, you guys, where we can hire team members, we can scale, we don't have to have as many clients, and we can build a business with consistency and predictability. So let me show you exactly how we do that. We talked about the freedom funnel, so let's get right into it. What you'll notice here is most coaches are spending their time, a little bit of time here, way too much time on rapport. They're not setting expectations or pre-framing the call. There's very little call flow and structure. They spend a little bit of time here on vision. They go straight into the program breakdown and they cross their fingers and hope that their client will buy. Let me explain something to you. If your call flow and the structure to it is not spending the majority of time setting expectations and making them qualify to work with you, then your exploration and discovery to really get deep into their vision, their pain of why they haven't been able to create it, and then the doubt that it's possible, we have to create a cycle here for them to realize that the way that you've been doing things, essentially what got you here won't get you there. All of this is dialed in with which questions to ask and why, and this is not a script. This is custom tailored to your client and your offer. It's the pacing and clarity. How much clarity does your client actually need? Not based on what we tell them about the program, but clarity around their problem that they may not even see the big picture. We're going to cover the objection handling. I want to bring out all the objections right here. I want to get the spouse involved right here. Because if I don't, I'm going to come down here and again, I got to cross my fingers and I'm going to get the let me think about it. Let me talk with them. And truthfully, they're not going to be able to relay the information to their spouse that you did. Their spouse is going to hear it cost 10 grand or 15 grand or 5K. And they're going to say, no way, we're not doing it. So we've got to know how to build this appropriately. Do they believe that it's actually possible to solve their problem? How do we drive those pain points and start to shift beliefs about what they've been doing and how they've been doing it? And the reason that they haven't been able to get to this vision is because they don't know how, right? They've got to start to build, we're building trust there, but we're also installing trust and belief systems that they haven't had up until this point. You guys, by doing so, it creates the urgency, it creates the trust, it creates the belief where we can bring that clarity and expectation that's going to solidify client perception as they're leading in your program. It's going to solidify their success rate and expectation of you and your team. But it's also going to eliminate the refunds and chargebacks. It's going to allow you to deliver a world-class experience to your clients because they came in with the proper expectations. I'm going to teach you how to deliver your program in a way that's not overwhelming. You might have 3 or 4 pillars. There might be a ton of information on the back end, but your clients are getting overloaded with the way that you're presenting it to them. So I'm going to show you how to utilize 1 to 2 areas on each call, and it's going to be different on each call to connect that directly to the problems that you can solve and the problems they're having. I'm going to teach you the temp check along the way. I'm temp checking from here to here. Hey, so Cindy, real quick question. Based on what we've covered so far, I know you mentioned in your last fitness, with your last coach you hired in the fitness space, everything they gave you was a bunch of course material and training videos, and you kind of felt like you were on and ended up failing. So far, if we were to pair you with a coach that worked with you week to week and someone that could hold you accountable, how do you suppose that would change the trajectory of where you would go this time? So I'm asking questions to gather information throughout the entire process to understand, like, how much further do I need to go? Most coaches have the same pitch and they explain every detail of their program. They wear their clients out. Sometimes your clients need one problem solved and everything else is just a cherry on top. But if we don't know how to identify that through temp checks, we're going to spend a lot of time talking and a lot less time collecting. If this is something that you find valuable, let's jump right into the next piece. So now that you have an idea of what our process looks like and what the client journey needs to be for your clients moving forward, I want to dive into some belief systems that a lot of coaches I work with have that's preventing them from scaling. You might have hired other sales coaches in the past, but at the end of their program, you felt like you paid for something that you simply could have gone out and found on your own. It's not your fault. Most programs are designed to simply overwhelm you with course material, lacking any real implementation, leaving you lost and frustrated. The bigger reason it hasn't worked out for you is you're getting half of the ingredients and wondering why the recipe didn't turn out. The false promises of many sales training companies are a prime example of this. They bury you in training material, PDFs, and worn out sales scripts. You get frustrated and the cycle simply continues, leaving you in the exact same position. Their systems are designed for you to fail. It's high volume, generalized coaching. The fact is, you need someone who's actually been in the trenches of their own coaching offer and helped others do the same. Odds are you don't have a marketing problem, you have a sales and systems problem. If you want a true long-term solution and a business that's built to stand the test of time, you must master your sales process to be as friction-free as possible. You're probably afraid of investing more money into systems and coaching that won't move the needle in your business, ultimately throwing your hard-earned money right out the window. You can 2 to 3x your coaching business, never missing a date night, baseball game, or dance recital. The fact is, you have a proven process and you deliver results like nobody else. You just need to get it out to more people. Just like Richard with Unleashed CEO, allowing him to hire a world-class team and lead his company from the creator seat.
When you work with people who are high integrity, who are really willing to lean in, truly understand your offer, truly understand your message, your audience, and then really just help you get it out to more people and sell it to more people. And so I just want to say, like, I want to give my highest recommendation to anyone who's considering working with Corey and his team. Man, just don't even think about it. Do it.
It's also how I helped Laurel Langmeyer, the millionaire maker, scale her sales team to multiple 6 figures consistently with way less headache.
Just to tell you a little bit about Corey Comstock. So he's like one of those quiet giants that have been around. He's been a partner of mine and he has helped run Salesforce throughout his life. Like I said, we were partners, did an extraordinary job, is back helping me do an extraordinary job with our folks and helping them select through service-based sales. How do you do the right thing? Now he's come up with a program. I've been pushing him, and he's out. And I just have to send out the shout out and endorsement that he's amazing.
And Chris with Money Ripples doing back-to-back record-breaking months, freeing up a ton of his time.
Hey, just want to do a shout out for Coaches and Closers. Definitely really appreciate it. So big shout out to you guys at Coaches and Closers, and definitely recommend any of you guys looking to use them.
You're probably wondering, who am I and how can I make all these claims? My name's Corey Comstock. I spent the last 10 years in the coaching space doing over $10 million in coaching revenue. I've built companies for other coaches that have done massive volume, and now I'm bringing it to you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to show you how I've built 2 multiple 7-figure companies of my own and working on the 3rd one now. I learned the hard way waiting entirely too long to hire coaches. You don't have to wrestle with those same obstacles that I did. If you're serious about signing 3 to 5 times more coaching clients and freeing up 10 to 15 hours a week, then go ahead and click the link below to book a call with my team today.